All right, guys, welcome back. I appreciate you for those of you that have commented on my other videos and those that continue to watch some of these. I wanted to make a video real quick of almost 1 year of ownership, and I think my last video had about 2,000 miles on it. That was primarily supposed to be just a spec video, so I wanted to come out with something now that I've had the bike for almost a year on the pros and cons that I personally have found. So it'll change from rider preference and stuff like that, but I figured I'll go over a small list of what I think could have been improved or probably been done a certain way versus the way that they did it. But overall, this is an awesome bike. I think out of all the bikes I've ever ridden, this has just been probably the greatest for the style of riding. I do long distance riding. I also do some back road riding, some sport riding, and this bike, for the size of it, does really well on the back road. So I've been able to enjoy both worlds for the most part, and go out and not feel intimidated riding this bike for whichever style of riding I choose. So for those of you that don't know, I have the 2018 Yamaha Eluder in the all black. You can get it in the blue or the silver. But real quick, just a couple of things that I have found that I think could have been improved upon would be these doors on both sides, and then the gas tank. I'm not even sure if you can see that, but yeah, these guys here, one on both sides. I personally feel that those doors there could have been made out of something a little bit more sturdy, or at least made the compartment a little bit more sturdy. Currently it is just a molded piece of plastic. This guy here does lock, but like you can see, it's all plastic here. Sometimes they stick when you go to hit the button. You might have to wiggle it to pop it open. You don't want to put anything in there that's expensive, but like I said, I think something like that, and maybe some of this trim could have probably been cleaned up a little bit better. I'm having an issue functioning my camera right now. So some of those things, overall, I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker, but when you look at other bikes, I just feel like they probably could have upped the quality of it a little bit, especially for the price you paid. Personal opinion, I don't think this bike should have started much above 18,000, maybe a little less depending on where it's at for some people, but my number would have probably been 18,000. I don't think 22 would have been a good starting price, and with the Venture only being a couple thousand more, they probably could have dropped the price of that a little bit too. The other thing real quick is the gas door. If you hold it in, flips up. I personally feel that is like the most inconvenient thing, because you get to the gas station, say the pump's on your left side, now you've got to fight the handlebar whichever way, without trying to drip stuff on it. I probably would have liked to see maybe the door pop up and slide back versus kind of coming up in the air like that. I'd have probably liked to see it where it popped up and maybe rolled back down the tank a little bit, but that is just my personal opinion. One of the other things would be the little bit of heat you do feel on the left side of your bike. I feel a little bit of it. Some guys talk about the heat issue that they're getting off to the left side underneath your leg. I think, under my own conclusion, I'm not sure if it's right or not, but if you look at the front of the bike, you got these two vents, one on each side, and that allows air to pass through there. You can close it off and let the heat radiate for like the winter time. But if you look in the center, there's not a whole lot of air. I almost feel like this thing may almost block too much wind going down the road, that it may not be getting enough down the side to pull that heat off. So that was that's just an idea. I'm not 100% sure. I know Yamaha does sell like fairing kits that will add onto the side here that you can actually bolt in, and they tilt out or in, and they can kind of change the airflow around the bike. So I'm thinking I might try those and see if that actually helps direct more air into the side of the motor and pull that out from underneath me to see if it kind of reduces that heat a little bit. I did put the Zombie exhaust on from Tab Performance. I feel that has dropped the temperature a little bit by being able to let that flow out. Some people have asked me how I feel about these exhausts, and if I feel like I need to put on the program or anything, and what the back pressure may be like. This bike, I personally don't feel it's running any differently than when I had the stock exhaust on it. It sounds great, it runs great, the fuel mileage is great, and the back pressure might be just a little bit different because I don't think, well, obviously like the closing of the baffles inside are not quite as substantial as the stock exhaust, so it might change that a little bit. But I've been hearing different things on getting the programmer, and that it may not do exactly what you're looking for as far as, you know, working with the O2 sensors and stuff like that. I don't know about that kind of stuff. That's a little out of my wheelhouse. So until I see something legitimate on it, I don't think I'm going to pay the $300 to purchase it. So for now, I'm running it without that, and I don't personally feel that I need it. It runs great. I haven't had an issue with it. And so yeah, I have about 4,000 miles on these pipes. I have no issues with them. They seem to be holding up really well. Everybody loves the sound of it. Everybody questions me what I put on it to make it sound like that. And they just say overall, I mean, the 1900 with these pipes on it just has a terrific sound. They do make two more baffle setting, or you can get like a 2.5 inch and a 1 3/4 inch baffle kit for it. If you buy one, you can just buy the baffles in and take the set screw out and actually remove the baffle and put the other ones in, so you don't have to buy the whole pipe, and it's significantly cheaper. I think it's like $85 per baffle, so that's an easy change you can do yourselves if you choose to want to quiet it up for a little bit, or say you're taking it to a show or whatever, you're riding in a group around town, you want to slap in the Zombie baffles, give it some noise, and then if you're going to go on a touring ride later that you want to pop them out, maybe put the quieter ones in. When I'm riding down the highway, when I went to Ocean City Bike Fest this past weekend, I didn't feel it was terrible. It had a loud noise to it. If I was running along the Jersey barrier on the highway, it did get a little loud. I could still hear my music pretty well. I don't think it's that much different than running I mean, obviously you can hear it more, but the sound doesn't really go away. I think it's more based on the wind. But I did put the taller windshield on, which the old one came up to about here. So this it comes up and then it like curves up pretty good at the top. That helped out drastically as far as wind flow and the buffeting on the helmet and stuff, and you can hear the music really well. I was talking to somebody on Facebook. They said that a company they talked to down in Maryland, who I believe is a Florida-based company, said that they were going to hopefully by the end of this year have a new sound system out for this. So I'm looking forward to seeing what maybe that'll offer. Obviously, you know, upgrades are always can be better, so I'm, you know, contemplating it, that if it does come out at a good price and it sounds worthwhile, that I may just swap them out just to get better sound quality out of it and be able to boost the sound up just a little bit. So overall, I really don't have anything negative to say about the bike. I think the one other thing that I'd like to do is add highway pegs to it. Even though these floorboards are nice and big, I'd like to maybe add something up here, because you can't really extend your feet straight out because they bump into your brake or your clutch on the other side when you try to lounge out a little bit. So I'd like to try and come up with something there. And then I thought about maybe trying to get something built back here for my girlfriend. She said her legs will go numb on occasion, that she'd like to be able to stretch them out. So I figured maybe I can find something that might be able to attach to the bottom of this guy so that they fold in and out of the way, or find something I can bolt into this pre-existing holes, because I did move them up for her, that if I can find something to put into there, then I'll be able to put a set on for her that she can kind of stretch them out a little bit and feel comfortable while riding. We rode down to Ocean City, Maryland, and with 2 people on this thing, it did great. Barely noticed her back there. She said it was a very comfortable ride, and so yeah, even just having just the generic backrest versus the Venture with the touring pack on it, this thing was great. And I think I averaged probably between maybe about 45 miles to the gallon. I could have made it down there the whole way, but anytime we stopped, I just topped off just in case of traffic or whatever, in case something went wrong. I wanted to make sure I had a full tank on. I think I did the total trip in maybe $18 down and back, so it was a real great ride. I do have a video I'm bringing that I'll probably post just after this one or before this one of the infotainment system, so that hopefully guys can take a quick look at that. And then I'm trying to figure out how to recreate my map issue when it says that it's unable to find navigation. I'm trying to recreate that so I can show you how to get rid of it, because 99% of the time it's the same problem every time that guys are having. And the video that I did find, or that somebody sent to me, was not quite intuitive. I don't think they really talked to you. They just kind of showed you in sequence how to get rid of that problem. So I'm going to try and work on that as well. Appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this was a little bit of some insight, a little bit less of a lengthy video, just quick overall the whole bike. And like I said, there'll be some more videos coming out, as I would like to do some more upgrades. I'd like to do the luggage rack on the back with a bag, and then I'd like to do the fairings up front, and the highway pegs are one, and some other things. And maybe as I move down the road, I think I might throw the fog lights in just to have them. I don't know. I'm just kind of tossing some things around as I add some stuff to this bike. Next year I have a couple trips planned out, and I'd really like to have this thing set up and ready to go. One of them being down to Tennessee, so I'd like to, we're going to do some pretty heavy riding through Tennessee and stuff like that, so I want to make sure I have everything that I need to get that done. Other than that, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. And look forward to some more videos. Hopefully I get some more out there a little bit faster than I have been. And like I said, appreciate you watching, and subscribe and like the video, and be safe.